Yes, guys, welcome back to the Once You're In podcast. Myself and Reese are here to discuss two shows that we were at over the weekend. So, to be fair, we haven't even really spoken to each other that much about them. So, I guess we can just have a bit of a catch up. We've spoken a little bit, but not loads. So, I was at the Two Bros in Northern Ireland. It was called the Ross Byrne Emerald Classic. Fantastic name. Obviously, it was sponsored by Ross Byrne and Pro Coach. And Reese was at the A1 Classic, which I have great memories of.
Sponsored by Nicola Gilbert.
Sponsored by
Nicola
Nicola
Gilbert.
Gilbert at A1 Tanning. So, do you want to go first?
Yeah, man. So, firstly, Nicola, she said she'd watch this. She wanted to get on, but we didn't even really plan this till today. So, sorry, Nicola. If you're watching this in your living room,
When
me and
we
Finn, we're briefly, we definitely will get you on.
get the new studio, we need to get her in.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. Because it'd actually be quite cool to see how she got into it, and like
Yeah,
how she
mate,
got into tanning. So,
it'd be a class
yeah,
podcast.
yeah. So I'll give a bit of a background. Do you want to do like bit for bit, or do you want me just to say all the A1 bits and then we'll go into the two bros?
We can just see where it takes us.
Okay, fair enough. Well, I just don't want to go on a ramble and just have a chat like for ages. So, yeah, basically, A1, Finn did it last year. First thing that happened when I got there, Sam looked at me. I didn't realize Sam was going to be there, but Sam was like, "Good memories of this place, mate." And I was like, "Yeah, really good memories," because Finn was ruined. And I know you said as a joke, "Oh, I've ruined the day. You've ruined the show for everybody." Kind of did a little bit last year, if I'm honest, mate, because I thought the show this year was class. I thought it was awful last year
No, the show
because I was
last year
worried
was
about.
good. It was good. Like it was good. Like it was good for Niall. Like Niall obviously competed, and like it was he loved it, and he went into the overall. Like it was good in the backstage area, the pump up space, like the equipment that they had. Like it was a good show.
Yeah.
I was just battered.
Yeah, no, no. Conran said he was like, I really like this. He was like, I like how it's run. I like that it's spacious backstage. The arena itself, well, I say the arena, it says not sort of like something arena, but it's not an arena. It looks like a big shed. Like that's what it looks like a massive shed. But yeah, it was a really well run show. It was good fun. Like it's a good vibe sort of show, isn't it? Like there was a guy going on, you wouldn't know this, but there was a guy going on with like sunglasses on and a hat on, and I was like, God, it's just like he's probably an old school guy who says, oh, I'm gonna do a bodybuilding show and have a bit of fun. So it was quite nice. Like so I had pretty much just to summarize, I had Alessandro, Storm, and Comran. I also won A1 first ever. I'll get it 1 second. I should have actually started with this. I won this. Best coach, A1 Classic 2024, the first ever. So
Wait, hold-
yeah, it's quite a cool
What's
trophy to
what is the yeah is what is the trophy? Who's the Greek god?
I don't
Is it
know. It should
Atlas?
just be I don't know. You know what it should be? And this is honestly what it should be. It should be like a fat, like dude sat with a laptop.
No,
That's
it
what it
should be
should be.
just somebody doing this. It should be me
Yeah.
pointing at anything.
Mm. Yeah, so yeah, but either way, I won the best coach award because I had the most wins and the most second places. Both Storm and Alessandro jumped in. Also jumped in late. Well, jumped in late, jumped in early. They jumped in late because I didn't give them much time. I gave them about 5 days to be like, "Do you want to do the show?" But they were 6 weeks out from the main show. They both looked really good. Storm got first in his class, and then Alessandro got second in first timers out of like 10. Alessandro was like we spoke about. Alessandro was pretty pissed, but he wants to do really well, and he's a junior up against people who are like in their 30s and 40s. And it's a show where most of the people that do the A1 shows and the I is it IBFA? Is that what it is? The federation that is in?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Yeah, it's the IBFA. It's an old school fed. So you don't see many 20-year-olds competing. It's mostly like 30 plus, like 30 and 40 plus guys. So he got second. He was first on, I think. Yeah, he was first on. He looked really good. It was just a shame his tan was pretty poor, and then you mix that in with somebody who is round and bubbly but isn't like stupidly dense yet, just because he's like 21, 22.
Who did his
And
tan?
as a result, I don't know, mate. He got it done by the A1, but it was just, when it goes like that greenish, doesn't really sit too well. And then by his armpits, it was like
Has he
pink where
been?
he'd sweat.
He won't have been like doing any kind of skincare, will he? Like if you've told him
Yeah, I
five
said,
days out, like he's
yeah,
probably not been exfoliating or using like 0% shower gel and stuff for Cool.
I said to him, like, what do you do for skin usually? And he was like, nothing. And I was like, right, you need to speak to Sanaya because you're like most lads where you think, oh yeah, it'll be sound. And 99% of the time it is sound, but
It's
you need
not.
to stay on top.
I have a starter. I have a competitor like starter pack, and any client that wants to compete, I'll send them it, and it has everything in terms of like skincare and everything. And like there'll be clients that are like, oh, I forgot to do anything, and it just doesn't
Yeah.
sit as well.
Yeah, no, I agree. So yeah, that was the crack. It was a bit of a shame, but still, even if his tan was fantastic, he still wouldn't have won, in my opinion. It was I could understand why, even though I think Alessandro won in a lot of ways. It was one of those that's like, well, you jumped in 6 weeks early. If you've done this for the PCA, which is his main show, and your tan was poor, and we didn't realize, like let's say because of your skin or whatever, like that would have been way more upsetting because we'd be like, what the fuck? Like that's actually cost us something that we were going for that was going to be one of our main shows. So we've got some data for Alessandro, which is sound, posed really well. Literally just five guys the night before. I'm not going to run a peak for somebody who's not in like legit condition. It wasn't going to make any sense. So just treated it as like 2 high days, day before and the day of the show, which was sound. Gained a bit of weight, back down to very close to his baseline, which is cool. Storm, he got first in his
Have
open
you got
class,
any
which was sick.
photos?
Yeah, well, I've got them on my Instagram, mate. Of Storm, if you want to get that up. He looked ridiculous to be fair. Like one of those where he just looked very, very like it was a cool look because he wasn't peeled yet, but he was lean enough to the point where it was like, right, you look sound, like you look really, really good. Still, and it was a case where like overall, I thought it was just a really good package for Storm. Needs to get leaner, especially through the upper leg, but then also it's the same time as like he is pretty fatigued and battered at this point. We've been pushing pretty hard, and as a result, like if you click on that sixth photo, mate, you know the one of all of us. I had some photos of the boys there. So yeah, with Storm, potential is a joke. 30 kilos up from his previous stage showing, which is crazy. And then when it comes to Comran, as we can see on screen here, ending on a high. Thank the Lord. I'm so fucking glad that Comran got a win. I got emotional when he won because I was like, thank, like you know when you just like you put a lot of time into somebody and you're like, you need one win, surely, because he does look really good. Like he's got a winning physique, in my opinion, in most junior classes, or a very, very good junior physique. And it's a shame that we didn't get a win in juniors. We literally got 3 second places. And juniors was first, so he got another second. And I said to him, like, I'm not having another second, mate. We've got to win the classic class. But luckily we did. So that was really, really good. And then these are some of the picks of the boys. So overall, it was a really good show, really well ran. The overall winner, uh, Don Valley, freak, incredibly fucking round and big. Was about dying when he got off stage, Finn, from an asthma attack, I think.
Yeah,
It wasn't
Storm
great.
told me.
Yeah, it was like a bit
Storm was
scary.
saying,
But
go on.
what was the well, no, I was gonna say I didn't hear what you said. What was Storm saying about
You were
his
just
asthma?
saying like he came off stage and he was asking everyone for an inhaler.
Yeah, no, it was yeah, it wasn't the best, but he looked great to be fair. So yeah, that's that. There was a few standouts. Ryan Andrea, the guy that beat Conran twice, Lewis Rigidi's client. I don't know how to pronounce his surname, guys. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ryan looked class, really, really good. Him and Conran's battle in the juniors was mint. It was really, really, really fun to watch, and it was one of those where again, like when you get beat by somebody who's a fantastic bodybuilder and it's a really good battle, you're like, yeah, cool, it is what it is. It was fine. Me and Lewis were both saying like this is really close. Like we didn't know which way it was going to go. Judging off the previous week, we thought it would be Ryan. Obviously he beat Conran before, but it was a very, very good battle, and it was definitely Conran's best look in my opinion. And then yeah, otherwise it was just a really, really good day. Like I genuinely like really enjoyed the show. It was just a long day. Like it started at 1 o'clock, and it was a little bit late, and then I didn't get back till about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. It's only like 45 minutes from me. So it was a long, long show considering there was only 83, 84 people. So, and the ending was a bit rushed. They definitely rushed the overall. I think they took their time at the start, and then I think they realized, oh, we've actually got to get through these classes. So they started to like be a lot faster. But overall, class, Nicola's great. The whole show was fine. Like they're really good. And honestly, like I would say definitely, like if you guys like that are listening to this are ever wanting to do a show, that's just a bit of fun. There's not much social media pressure. It's not where you're going to end up on any reels or whatever. I definitely recommend doing this as like a warm-up show or even in between shows. Like it's a really, really good stage experience, and it's just like a good, well-run show.
Yeah. To be fair, as much as obviously I was just battered last year, it was nothing to do with the show. Like the show was still good. Like the photos were still good. Like I like the A1 sign that they have on the stage. It's pretty cool. And even just being able to like, you know how like a lot of federations are just so like stringent and over the top with going backstage. Like no one can be back here. Like it's just athletes back here because they want to make money and basically like charge extortionate amounts for a coach's pass. The
Yeah.
fact that like with this kind of show, you can literally just be like last year we had me, you, Shannon, even my sister and like my sister's kids came backstage and stuff. Like it was sound, wasn't it? Like and they're like, yeah, no, it sound like there's so much room backstage, it's huge. So yeah, it was good. Yeah, I reiterate what Reese was saying about like if you don't want and the thing is like this is no disrespect to the show. Nicola would completely agree with this. Obviously, it's not as big of a show as a PCA show or a Two Bro show. Of course, it's not. So if you want a show that is like a warm up or that just pressure's off, just go and have some fun. Like it is exactly that. I mean, it wasn't that for me last year, based on me, but like it could have been, and it should have been. Really, that was the plan initially. But then I just ran myself into the ground a little bit just before it. So yeah, all good. Anything else that you've got on that?
No, no, mate, not really. It was, like I said, really good day. Like, no complaints. And yeah, sound. That was everything. On to the Two Bros Pro events. As you said, the Emerald Classic.
Yeah, so this was the Northern Ireland first ever two bro show in Northern Ireland. So initially the plan was just for Matt to do it. So Butcher's Wet Dream, we'd spoken about it months ago. It was from the start of his prep. We were like, yeah, I literally said to him, I was like, I'm going to make you do that show. And he was like, oh, sick. He was like, that's on my doorstep. So like this venue, he used to do his school plays there. So it's literally like 5 minutes down the road for him. So I was like, yeah, 100%, like you can do it. Yeah, really cool. And he's like, even if he was like he is lean enough to step on stage 100%, but even if he was like 5 pounds heavier, I still wouldn't have cared. Like we literally was going into this show just for him to have a bit of fun and see how he looked. Um, and then as we got closer and closer to it, like the other lads over there, so I've got three other guys in Northern Ireland competing this year. So I've got Donal, Finn, and Jerome. And as like the show was getting closer, I kind of just like thinking like they're all pretty ahead, or at least in line with where I want them to be. Like they're all looking good. And I knew it wasn't going to be a busy show. Like I knew it wasn't going to be a case of like I'll put them into this show and they're all going to get absolutely spanked because it's going to be a huge like massive two bro show that's going to be packed. Like I knew it was going to be quiet. So I was like, yeah, if you want to do it, like I'm going to be over in Northern Ireland anyway. I'm coming to see Matt, and obviously I would have seen them anyway at 6 weeks out. And then I was like, if you want to do it, let's do it. And they were all like, yeah, buzzing, let's do it. Even though it's expensive, it's like 115 quid for a class, and I think it's like, is it like 50 quid for a membership or something? So it's a lot of money for a bit of fun, but they all actually loved it, which was the main thing. They all had a really good time. So yeah, basically I was over in Northern Ireland from Thursday. Um, Donald picked me up from the airport, took me to Sainsbury's and everything, bless him, took me to get my hair cut. And then basically like Friday, Saturday, pretty much just slightly more food for everyone. Like it was kind of just like running two moderate to high days for everybody. I saw them all in person. They came over. So two of them came over on Thursday night. A couple of them came over on Friday. Matt was round at mine because he was like living 5 minutes away. So he was at mine every night. We were just chatting and like planning things out, which was pretty cool. Watching Sebum while we were having our last meals and stuff. So it was just a really nice trip. And yeah, like it ended up being really, really successful. So I won't go through like every single class and everything that there was. Obviously, I didn't watch the female classes, but this was the overall. Huh?
Didn't post that much of
No.
the actual stuff. And I should say, mate, Two Bros, you said that Matt used to have his school plays here. So Two Bros doing something in like a village hall. Shock. Like
To be fair,
if
no,
it's
mate.
just
This was way better. This was way better.
really no,
Yeah.
actually, no, you know what? I will say, yeah, I saw some photos and videos. It actually looked like it
Yeah.
wasn't just assembled in like a
No, it
hall,
was like
you know.
it was a decent venue. It wasn't amazing, but it was better than the Braywick Leisure Centre. It was better. So this is my client Donal, obviously against some pretty big dudes in the overall. But he held his own, like condition wise, especially. Obviously, there's going to be guys that are bigger than him, but this is the guy that Donal beat in his class. So Donald won his, well, he did two classes. He was on his own in one of them. A fair few people were on their own. So he was on his own in one of them. And then he beat this guy in the other one in True Novice. So that was pretty cool. So he won the first ever class. So like the guy, you know, the American guy that Two Bros always use. I think he's American. He's like
Yeah.
half American, half Irish. Like he's got a strange accent. But
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, he like announced it and he was like, so this is the first ever like winners medal in a two bro show in Northern Ireland. And it was pretty cool. So that was a good moment.
Oh, that's a lot. He has to say, ladies and gentlemen, like
Yeah,
something. He always
he
follows
loves
up.
it. But he's good to be fair. This guy was good.
That's
Ryan
his excellent.
Kershaw, he was good.
Yeah.
He was convincing winner in the overall. And then this was the classic overall. So basically this was also the classic junior class. So these three were all the juniors and they were all won their own class. So Liam won his class, he was on his own. Liam won the juniors out of these three. So this is Liam in the middle. This is my client Matt, and I don't know this guy's name. Sorry, guys. But basically, this was the three juniors as well. So when they all came out, I was like, fucking hell, like that's a serious junior classic class, like really fucking good. Um, this guy, I was like, okay, when they all came out, I was like, right, Matt's obviously the smallest. Um, Liam was 208 pounds, I think he said when I spoke to him, and Matt was like 157. So like basically had 50 pounds on Matt. And I think this guy probably had maybe similar because he had more fat to pull off, but maybe similar. But yeah, Matt came second in juniors, again to Liam, which was deserved. Like Liam's really good. And then Matt won his class B, which was really cool because it was against three other guys. One of them being, Dean St. Mart.
Yeah.
He came fourth out of four.
What he did classic.
Yeah, that's why he came fourth out of four because he just didn't look
Wait,
classic.
what?
Like he
Yeah,
looked
what?
good. He won Masters
I
on
didn't even
he
realize he was competing. But
yeah
like classic, mate. What?
he did a
No
Masters class.
chance.
He did a Masters class and obviously he was on his own in that, so obviously he won that. But then he did
Yeah.
he did class B and came fourth. You could tell he wasn't happy, which is fair enough. Like because he's a good bodybuilder. Like he looked good. He
Obviously.
he was the most conditioned and the biggest in the class, but he wasn't classic. You know what I mean? Like he didn't
Yeah.
pose very classic, and yeah, he is a good bodybuilder, but I wouldn't say he's a classic bodybuilder. Whereas Matt is and Liam, like they're like pretty much the epitome of classic. That's not the best photo of Matt, to be fair. I don't think he'll be too happy with that photo. But yeah, really cool. So Matt
Yeah, I was
won
gonna
his
say,
class against, huh?
Matt could like he's definitely I've seen him hit that for a double a lot better than what he's
Yeah,
doing
I
now.
think
Like
it
it
was
looks
just
like he's a
how
bodybuilder.
when it was the photo, like when it was taken. So yeah, Liam won the overall, well deserved, looked awesome. The overall was really cool as well. Like the basically like the head judge like told them to come forward and like they put on the lights in the auditorium, so they basically all were starting like posing up the stairs. So that was pretty cool. Um, Physique. So I can't remember this guy's name. Oh, it's Adam Beatty. This guy here, he looked really good. But then put into the overall, he lost out to these two guys. But yeah, this Adam Beatty looked really good. This guy was called Jace. This is, I'm sure it was called Jace. That's Zach's client, and then this guy Ben was Christian's client, and Jace ended up taking the overall, which was well deserved. Like he's not as well muscled as Ben, but he's just more men's physique than Ben. And the judges' feedback was exactly that. I was chatting with Christian afterwards, and he just said like Ben's just a little bit blocky for physique, which yeah, he is. Yeah, he could be a little bit leaner, but it's not like he needs to be a lot leaner. He's just got a bigger waist than Jason. You can't really change that. Yeah, you can help tweak it with posing, but even like here, you can't change that really that much with posing. So it was. I'm not gonna say it was like a close call because it was. I would have been surprised if Jace hadn't have won it. Again, these two photos aren't great, but like he had a tiny waist. When he smiled as well, he looked like really men's physique because he has like really white teeth. So yeah, he took the overall, and then like I say, I didn't see the female classes, but to be fair, like,
Uh,
standard looks really good.
I mentioned, the guy that you didn't mention. Do you know who that is? Go back onto men's physique. So the one on the far right.
No.
That is, I don't know his name, but he's the guy that I was up against at PCA finals. He finished third, and me and Axel was first and second. And he put the photo of our backs up, where like I think one of us was in pose, and he was like, "Who wins
Oh, is that
Thinks
him?
I shouldn't have got third.
To be fair, his back's
And
not
then he
bad.
deleted it or something. So his back's really, he looks class. He looks
Yeah,
great. But
he's
yeah,
good.
that
He
that's
just
him. So
if
he
he
was
was
the one.
sharp, if he was like
I'm
all the way
surprised he
in.
hasn't. Yeah, mate, he's competed. I think this is like his third show because I still follow him from that prep.
Yeah.
And I, to be honest, I followed him from the time that that person sent me his account saying he should have won against me and Axel, which was funny. But yeah, he's done like 3 shows, and all shows I'm like, mate, you could be a lot leaner. Like, and he's got really good shape, like a really good shape, good amount of muscle. Just needs to get peeled. So yeah, that'll be that.
Like I
But
said, I
yeah, I
didn't
thought
really
that
see the rest.
the Jace winner, I completely agree. I saw
Oh yeah,
photos of him. I was like,
100%.
wow, he looks class.
He was good.
Christian's dude looks great,
Yeah, he's
but
not
not
that
men's
big.
physique, in my opinion, like for that. Like for in
Jace,
comparison to Jace, like
yeah, I feel like Jace could like definitely make himself look bigger with his posing. He wasn't very confident, and like Zach, I'm happy to say that because Zach kept saying it. Like he was like asking him to be more confident on stage. Because when he smiled and when he like hit the poses with confidence, he looked really good. But you could tell he was a little bit nervous. But yeah, like fair play, he looked really good. And then Jasmine won the bikini overall. Again, I didn't see this, but like I say, the standard actually looked really, really good. Um, so yeah, like I've got some photos of because I've like that's not shown Finn or Jerome. Um, here it is. I pinned the post because it was a cool post with a cool song. So yeah, this was just after the show. So these are the 4 boys that I had in it: Donal, Matt, Finn, and Jerome. We should have really taken this with Finn stood a little bit more to that side because kind of hiding half of his physique. So sorry, mate. But yeah, Finn won junior bodybuilding. He was on his own, which was a bit of a shame, but he got a lot out of this weekend in terms of like first time on stage. Definitely he's chilled out a lot more. He's looking a lot better now because he's just not putting so much pressure on himself. He messaged me like as soon as he came off stage and put, I feel like my posing was shit. And I said to him afterwards, I was like, this is the whole point of doing a warm up show is that you don't have to be immaculate. Like he's definitely learned like again with the skincare and stuff. Like he hadn't been exfoliating, he hadn't read the pack. Cool, that sound like you've got 6 weeks until your main show. This is the whole reason that we did this is for you to go and learn that. And like backstage, you could tell like Donal and Finn were really quite stressed and quite nervous, and they were in like the early classes, so it was really quite rushed backstage. There wasn't really any room to pump up. I tried to be backstage and then got kicked out. So like you get all that that's like a bit of a stressor. Um, but they look great. Like they look really, really good on stage. I was very happy with how they looked. We had to get 3 coats for Donal, so he got 2 base coats because he was like still really pale. But then his tan turned out pretty good in the end. Finn's tan again turned out decent in the end. Matt's tan was really good because he was already tanned. And again, Matt's competed before, so he was pretty chilled. He was a little bit more nervous on the day, but he was pretty chilled. And like once I couldn't get backstage, we had like a plan where I'd basically message them and say, right, meet me in the toilets at or like in 2 minutes. And it was like
you in the toilets.
mate, I was literally glazing them in a cubicle. I like had to close the cubicle, lock it. Um, so I got to glaze Matt and Jerome, but I didn't properly get to glaze Donal and Finn. But yeah, like they looked great. I was really happy with how they all looked. And yeah, just a good first stage experience for them all. Which there's positives to it, but there's also negatives. Like I was saying to them as well today. I was saying to a couple of them, like, yes, you went and you won a show, but like for Jerome and Finn, they're on their own. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
you won a show and it was great and it was fun and we had a great time. We got great photos, but you were on your own. So don't take your foot off the gas thinking, oh, well, I've already competed and I've won a show. Like, you know, it's like people think, oh, I'm not saying they've done this, but I don't want them to do this where they go like, oh, well, I've got what I needed from this prep now. You know what I mean? I competed and I've won a show and I've got some photos. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
people see a win and they tick it off. Like
Yeah,
we spoke about how many wins I've got. I forgot that I won the Two Bros class last year. There's no one in it. Like I don't
yeah,
class that as a win.
yeah,
But people would go, "Oh, I've won a show."
yeah,
No, you're on your
exactly.
own, bro. You didn't
Yeah,
win. You lost because you actually spent money. No one else spent money.
yeah.
Like obviously, yes, you did, win.
So it
But
was
in the
like
grand scheme of things,
it was definitely beneficial for them, especially with like because again those 3 had never competed before, so it was like they got to learn what it was like to get your tan, like you know when you need to register, like all these kind of things, like show timings, and that it always gets put like run behind a little bit. Show was supposed to start at 12, and obviously it did, but they were chatting for a little bit, and the first class probably wasn't until like half 12. So all these kind of things that they basically learn, which was good. But yeah, it was definitely like most successful for Matt just based on the fact that he obviously beat 3 other guys, and then only came second to Liam. Like Matt would have won the overall if Liam wasn't there, which is pretty cool for a natty. Yeah. I said that to Ross as well. So Ross was like sat behind me, and I was like, "Ah, if Liam didn't turn up, Matt would have won the overall." And he was like dead serious. He was like, "Yeah, but he did turn up." And I was like, "I know, mate. Like, I'm kind of joking. Like, I know he turned up. He's there. He's on stage." He was like, "Yeah, but he did turn up, didn't he?" I was like, "Yeah, I know. Like, I'm only joking."
Followed up with like an motivational quote, and you're like, mate, I am joking. Literally,
Honestly, it was a
it's a
joke.
joke.
Like, he did turn up. Yeah, I know he did. I know he did. I can see him on stage. So yeah, it was good. And to be fair, like, I'll give it to Two Bros. It was the best Two Bro show I've been to by a mile in terms of how it was ran, the sort of like the venue, the audience. I mean, I've been to obviously been to the Arnolds and stuff, and they were pretty good. Like, obviously, we can't say it was better than the Arnolds when they did it at NEC, but it was actually a pretty well ran show. There was a nice like community kind of feel to it because it wasn't too busy, and generally, like in my experience, everybody over there was really nice. So yeah, it was good.
Sound, yeah, happy days. Uh, no complaints really then. All in all, positive weekend for both of us.
It was. It was good.
Yeah.
What's the
No, best hopes though, mate. No, none of this. Sorry.
No, I would have. I mean, I'm thinking actually. I don't know. Well, I probably wouldn't have won it because I didn't win an overall. Like, I feel like Ross would have probably won it, wouldn't he? I mean, it was his show. He'd have probably won best coach at his own show, which would have been fair enough
And
because Liam
then
won the overall.
he would have said, yeah, but I did turn up.
And I'd have gone, yeah, if you didn't turn up, I
Mhm.
might have got that. And he'd have gone, yeah, but I did. It's my show.
Yeah.
It's
And then
weird.
on
Like,
the mic, what do you want to say? What do you
it
want?
was
What
weird.
he's standing there. What do you want to say? Well, I would say Finn could have won this, but I turned up.
You know when you go somewhere, like you know when we went to Vegas and like AJ was there and Tim was there, and it's just like you feel like you've not gone anywhere. It was like that
Yeah.
because like Zach was there, Callum was there, Pierce was there. I asked Pierce if I could see his glutes in the toilet, and he just laughed it off. And I was like, "Mate, I'm being deadly serious." He laughed it off and went out, so I wasn't happy. Um,
I'm only here for that.
yeah, mate, I don't even care about my clients. I don't care who's on stage. Please show me your glutes. But like Zach was there, and like it's just like this is weird. Like Michael Fox was there, Christian was
Yeah.
there. And I was like, I'm in Ireland, like with my lads that I don't get to see very often because obviously they live over here, and like everyone from back at home's over here. So it was a bit odd. But it was good. Yeah, it was good. So yeah, I was going to say, what's the plan
Cool.
for the rest of the season for the boys you had? Obviously, Conran's done.
Yeah, so I think Conran's done. There's a chance, but I've been saying to him we do need to grow. So we're running like a pretty aggressive like rebound sort of like protocol. He's only been in a super fizz range of androns for like 7 weeks, 8 weeks, which is pretty cool. And he's not smashed. So it means we can run a pretty nice rebound over the next like 4 to I'd say 7 weeks. So we've just pulled down like the harsher sort of stuff. So Anabar's out. Clen we're titrating down. We didn't use any thyroid, which is sick. We didn't use any tren or anything like that. It was literally just like test and no, I say test. I don't know if I told you this. We ran literally like zero test. We did like maybe over a month, 100 milligrams of test, just to really promote like as much dryness and just like if any like graininess. So it was like just DHTs and like a couple of tabs of Anavar. It was pretty simple. So took out the harsh sort of stuff, put some test in. So hopefully he feels a bit better because he was saying he was like, I do feel a bit smashed, but I think that's probably just diet fatigue, not just testosterone, but it's probably going to play a role. So pretty hard rebound for the next like 4 to 6 weeks. Things like injectable carnitine, going to be utilizing some insulin on like weak body part days to kind of just try and drive everything to them. And then I said to him, if he really wants to do finals and he's in a good spot, he could, but he does need to grow. So it's like it's one of those, where you just like he said to me, I'd like to do it when he qualified. He was like, I think I can get better. And I was like, you can get better, but you need to spend the time growing and then we can maybe come back down. But also you do need to spend time growing because you
Not
will
enough,
get beat by people that are
not enough time to grow.
yeah, no, I said that. I was like, you will I said we'll run a really harsh rebound, like I said, harsh rebound, like a good rebound, like an aggressive rebound. And then we'll see. But I am almost in a way saying that to him. And I said this to him. So he actually rebounds properly. Because
Yeah.
when I prepped him in
They know it's done.
2022,
Like, yeah, you can easily just.
yeah, it was where like yeah he almost like it was hard for him to rebound. Well, not rebound. He just ate shit for like a
I
couple of
honestly
weeks, and it
think
was like,
that's a good thing. You
right,
remember,
right,
like, with my last prep, like,
Mhm.
I think how it ended was actually helpful. Not
Yeah,
my first prep. You know how it was like I was supposed to be doing another show,
Yeah,
and then it got cancelled because of COVID.
yeah,
And it was like, oh, I guess I'm kind of done then. It wasn't like you putting
yeah.
so much focus on when you're done.
And it's one day.
Yeah, it just
Yeah,
kind of came to an end, and it was like, oh, okay, cool, off season. Like, and whereas with this one, it was like, I know after the WNBF, I'm done. You know what I mean? It was like I'm gonna have a
yeah,
day with Shannon. I'm gonna we're gonna chill out. We're gonna we didn't even plan anything for the first prep because it was like, well, I'm still in prep. So like, I actually think that helps. I've
yeah.
tried that with a couple of clients as well. Like post show, I'll say like, right, I want you to almost either have this idea that you're doing this other show and we'll wait and see, or like they've maybe got a holiday in 6 weeks and it's like, right, okay, let's almost sort of imagine that you've got another show there. Like it can help. It depends on how battered the client is and how where they manage it and psychologically and stuff, but it definitely can help sort of
No,
not being like that's your end point and then you get to completely relax because people just go crazy.
I definitely agree. Think about like last year for me. It was where like we didn't really know what was going to be my last show. I was like, I wanted to do back-to-back shows. It might be in 3 weeks, might be in a week, it might be in 4 weeks. I was still prepping. I was going away to Alicante, but I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be prepping then. I don't know if I'm not. It was where I had a holiday like 5 weeks afterwards and then 9 weeks afterwards. So it was like a nice, slow and steady kind of come up. And it wasn't a case where like the following day it wasn't like, oh my God, I'm done with prep and I can chill with this. I was like, okay, cool. So now I'm still prepping. I might as well just stick to what I'm doing, but just eat a bit more food, eat like not have to worry about having to nail all of this and do this. So it's like still very similar. So yeah, I definitely think it helps. So we come around, see how he does, but ideally get growing, but I get a good rebound. We then have Alessandro and Storm both are doing the Midlands PCA show on the 15th of September. That's their main show. So they were 6 weeks out from the show. Both of them are where we need to be. Like Storm's a fair bit closer just based off overall kind of density, should we say? And I say a fair bit closer. It's just because he's so fucking dense and round. Like he could get away with being 80%. Like even on the A1 show, his glutes, because they're so big, they still looked really
Yeah.
good. They just weren't striated. But
What
then you rarely ever see like absolutely peeled glutes, you know?
what classes will they be in?
Alessandro being junior BB, and then Storm will be in men's medium, I think. So like open medium. So yeah, that'll be good. And then Alessandro, same plan. Main aim for us is PCA finals. We said like a British title, juniors, which I think is realistic. Everything's been like everything so far has been sound. Just him dealing with a bit of stress like the week before, and then he's had a fair few things on, bless him. So it would have been really nice for him to go a win, but obviously it's not. And I think for him as well, like long term, I said to him, it'll give you a bit of a kick up the arse that you're not special and elite, and like you are very good, but you do need to be better. So I think he'll take it, and hopefully he does. And I know he will because I've been grilling it into him for the last like couple of days that he just needs to get better. Where with Storm's like, am I even that good? And I'm like, yes, Storm, you're very good, mate. Like you actually need to be confident. Like he just doesn't really see it, which
I don't know. I
is a
know
good
it's
thing and it's
like,
a
but
bad thing.
that's yeah. It's often I'd say that's probably a better mindset to have.
Yeah, but it's when one of those where he's up against one other person in his class, and I said to him, "Did you think you were going to win?" And he was like, "No, I thought I was going to lose." And it was like most people would look at they were Storm, look at him and go, "Oh, sick, right, I've won this." Like it wasn't like Storm didn't destroy him, but it was like Storm was a lot better. But he in his head was like, "He's big, he's good," you know.
Yeah, but you can't
And it's
like
like,
it's
no,
so hard when you stood like, especially when someone's pumping up next to you, and you can't like you can't just be like, right, I'm gonna be unless they're really bad. Like Storm's
yeah,
great, but
no.
like if they're half decent, it's like, oh, I don't know. Especially when he's not like well, I know he's competed before, but it's not in bodybuilding.
No. It was like men's muscle model or some
Like
shit. I
the
don't
guy
know.
that Donal was against was obviously backstage like pumping up and like he looked fucking huge. He was big, but he was obviously soft. Like so like I guarantee Donal was looking at him going, fucking hell, like if he's massive. Like, but obviously they were getting kind of expecting that at that show anyway. But yeah, like you never really know until you stood next to someone on stage. Like and you get the photos back and you go, oh shit, like I'm actually bigger than that guy that I thought was huge, or like vice versa. I'm actually really shit and I thought it was all right.
Yeah, so yeah, all good. But overall, like for the three boys, like it'll be cool to see kind of how things go. So Storm will also be doing PCA finals, I should mention. Which I honestly think I said to him we could do a two-bro show in between. He wouldn't be in the super heavies, which I don't think so. He'd be in the heavies, which I think he'd be muscularity wise sound. And considering he's 24, it's exciting for Storm. So I think we'll do a two-bro show in between. some regional, just see how he does, get his face out there because he wants to go down the kind of NPC route anyway. So I said, oh, it'd be quite good just to kind of see where you stack up, and then we can just take that. I said it's a good amount of money, but you'll be up against some of the people who are probably like older than you, have maybe a bit more, I don't know, just a bit more time in the game, and you can just see as a bit of a young lad coming into this like first proper season in bodybuilding, just how you do. And then with Alessandro, like I said, it'll mainly be PCA. He's spoke about doing two bros, but I said like we'll do that when you're like dense and ready, like when you're not, you don't look like a junior, which he does right now. He just looks like a very good junior, but he needs to be peeled. So that is the goal for both of them: get inside out, get peeled, Comrade, get fucking jacked. What about your boys, mate? They've got what shows were they doing?
So they're all doing NBFI, which is like the UKFBA partner, but in Ireland. You know, it's like they work underneath the PMBA, IMBA. So it's like to qualify for the Europeans or the Natural Olympia. It's that side of things. So they're all doing the NBFI, which is in Cork, which is like Republic of Ireland. So it's a few hours from them. So I'll be heading over again. I need to map it out because I'm sure that's that week. That's that September 15th. That it's the same.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
and I'm sure I have a couple of people in that PCA show, but obviously if I've got four in the Ireland show, it kind of makes sense for me to go there, especially when it is their main, like for a lot of them, it's their main show. And then a few of them have got WMBF Wexford, which is after that, which is again Ireland. A few of them are coming over, so I'm pretty sure Jerome's not. Not set in stone for sure, but I'm pretty sure Jerome's not. But the other boys are looking at coming over for the UKDFBA finals. And
Yeah.
then like obviously I've spoken with Matt just because he was around at mine after the show, and we've sort of mapped out like shows that we want to do, that we want to qualify for, like Europeans and things like that. Um, and sort of the plans for him. But yeah, like main thing is just make sure that they're all better in 5.5 weeks time now, and they all need to still be sharper, which is of course they do. The first show was 6 weeks from the main show, so get sharper, but without digging anywhere near as hard as we've had to, because with all of them we dug pretty hard throughout the majority of the prep, which is what you should do. So now you've done the majority of the hard work, and you can relax and enjoy sort of getting ready for the main shows without having to be pulling a hell of a lot of weight off every week.
Yeah. No, fair enough, mate. All right. Well, there.
Cool.
Thanks as always, guys for listening to this part of the podcast. I'm going to be filming in person, like normal sort of sit down one tomorrow, which will be cool. So for Finn, just drop me a message tomorrow. What time suits? Do I do morning? Do I do afterwards? Just let me know because I've got my hair at two.
What time's your hair?
2 o'clock. Midday? Or do you want to do after?
Hmm. Yeah, we could maybe do after.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm easy. Right. Cool. Right. Hope everyone's enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe. See you later. Bye bye.